guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Alrighty, let's get going. First and foremost, McDonald's has finally opened. People are actually seated inside and they're eating without masks. Obviously, how can they eat with masks? And we are driving the Mercedes E-Class, the E220D. First and foremost, it is so freaking huge. This is humongous a car. You know what is the length of this car? 5 meters. It's more than 5 meters long. The wheelbase itself is more than 3 meters long, and this is the only right-hand drive long wheelbase version of the Mercedes E-Class in the world. I mean, only India gets it. This is not the only car. Actually, there are many more units on sale in India or already on Indian roads. And today, for the very first time, there is no traffic jam here. And this road is really very bad, but no problem for the E-Class because the suspension is just so freaking compliant. It's unbelievably good how this car is able to glide over the worst of roads. Mercedes absolutely nails it with ride comfort on its cars. This is so brilliant. I love it. I love the comfort offered by this car. In fact, I've been driving this car since the past 4 days across every sort of terrain, which includes that I've taken this car to all types of roads, city, highway, not off-road of course, but over bad roads as well, and the car just is unbelievably good. It's just unbelievably good. Obviously the camera turns on when it senses there's someone around or at parking speeds. That's also a very good thing. Now of course, once I hit I think maybe 10 kilometers per hour, that camera will shut. No, not at 10, okay, at around 15 kilometers per hour. Now you can see this display. That's kind of cool. What is it showing me? Exactly how much power and torque I'm using in real time. And of course, the cluster mode right now happens to be the one which is progressive, which also looks quite cool as well. Now, for a car of this size, which weighs more than 1800 kgs, you would be wondering, yeah, it is difficult to drive. Not at all. It is quite easy to drive. Yeah, the steering is light. It's really very light. Easy to twirl. Easy on any sort of road. That's why this is a city car. But out on the highway, it's absolutely brilliant. The E-Class is such a sensational car, right? Honestly, the only thing I miss is, which I've already told you, no memory seats at the front. That's shocking. However, put that aside, this car is unbelievably good in terms of comfort and luxury. Steering is so light and easy to twirl, but shockingly it weighs up brilliantly well on the highway as well. Now of course, since we're getting out here, we need to change our modes. Obviously there are 5 modes on offer: Eco, Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus, and Individual of course, where you can tweak few parameters. What can you tweak? The engine, the gearbox and the steering wheel, and probably the air conditioning as well. But who cares about that? What we really care about is how is the performance, and as soon as I get on the throttle, okay, I know. All of us are missing the E350D already. Alright, we are in sport mode of course, Sport Plus. And we are going to go into assistance. We're going to turn off traction control off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. That is some wheel spin, okay, because obviously this is a rear wheel drive car channeling all the power to the rear wheels, and we're having 400 Newton meters of torque, which comes in at 1600 RPM and peaks till 2800 RPM. So 1200 RPM is the torque band of this car. This is a 2-liter diesel engine. It's a 4-cylinder unit. It's 1950cc in terms of displacement. Over these rumblers, no problem. Here we walk through it. What a beautiful suspension setup on this car. Now compared to the E350, the E220D does not get air suspension, which means that it cannot lift its nose with the press of a button, and of course it doesn't have adaptive damping either, but still the ride quality is absolutely brilliant. Now of course, with the E350D, the advantage is that it is just slightly better at high speeds because it becomes floaty. But overall, I find the suspension to be very good on this car, even without air suspension, because it uses steel springs. That's also splendid. Performance is really very nice. Now this is of course BS6 compliant. It has been BS6 compliant for more than a year now, and it has that refinement, but because of BS6ness, I don't even know that is a word, but because this is BS6 compliant, unfortunately that initial get-go has become more linear. So it doesn't have the kick in the pants feel which was there earlier. It is just so much more linear, and it's also slower by almost half a second, taking around 9.3 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. The earlier car used to do it in 8.8 seconds, but braking performance is really very strong. I know the tires are small on this car. For a Mercedes luxury car, like 17 inches, 225, no. So Redline comes in around 4,500 RPM. When compared to the BS4 model, obviously things have become a little bit more leaner. The kick in the pants feel is no longer there from this 2-litre diesel engine. By the way, this is an all aluminium diesel engine with the new Mercedes E-Class. Of course, earlier it used to be a 2.1-litre unit. Now it's a 2-litre unit. Obviously, they reduce the displacement for reasons we all know. NGT getting behind the back of all these cars which are having more than 2-litre displacement. However, right now what I'm noticing is that this engine is super duper refined. It gets a little vocal in a sporty way once you cross around 2,500 RPM. But you know what is the best thing? Power delivery is very linear. It is super drivable. This guy did not look left only. He just like turned, then he looked left, like kya ho raha hai? Anyways, that's how most of them drive. You have to be really careful. Onto the throttle. I love the way the motor pulls so nicely. And of course, you can do manual control of things using the steering mounted paddles here. See, it is not going to hold on to a gear. Unfortunately, that's kind of a bummer at the moment. But still, I love the performance on offer. I love the fact that everything is so smooth. It pulls. It's like, you know, it's like a mini version of the Maybach S650 V12, because that V12 motor is not going to give you a kick in the pants feel or push you back into the seat. No. But it will gather pace really nicely. I know 9+ seconds for 100 km per hour is a lot of time. But get onto an open road, this car will comfortably hit 220 km per hour. That is the level of performance on offer. I mean, this is very smooth and measured performance. Of course, the E350 is 2 seconds faster. Yeah, 2 freaking seconds faster than the E220D. That's a big difference, but still not in the league of the 530D, which is another second faster, probably more than that, when compared to the E350D. Now, this is a heavier car, long wheelbase, and more oriented towards comfort. So, you know, they have made the performance more linear as such. Not the one which is going to be like kick in your pants. No. That is not what this car likes. Now, of course, you can turn off traction control on a rear-wheel drive car like this without any hesitation, because it's not going to spin like that. It has 400 Newton meters of torque. And to put it into perspective how much 400 Newton meters of torque is, it's not much. Why? Because the previous generation of the E-Class, which used to come in E250 guys, had 500 Newton meters of torque and 204 horsepower. This is 190 horsepower. So yeah, power has gone down. Actually, the E220D of the previous generation of the E-Class used to produce 170 horsepower. So there's an uptick there. Over these bad roads, you will actually slow down because the ground clearance is not the best. 130 mm is a ground clearance, but for the most part, you won't face any issues over speed breakers. However, the long wheelbase is something you have to really take care of, because if you go fast over bad bumps, you don't want to scrape the underbelly of a car which is this expensive. Yeah, this is an expensive car. The E-Class is one of the most expensive cars in its segment because it is right-hand drive. It is long wheelbase. That adds to the price. Okay, the Mercedes E-Class also has got active brake assist, and right now obviously it is turned off, but we'll get into early. And when you are in early now, it's able to recognize if something's ahead and automatically apply brakes as well. So it senses. It's not like you can't just go walking towards a car, or rather, you know, cruise to a car and be like, okay, now let's see if it applies. No. So you can see this red triangle right now in the instrument cluster. It does it very flawlessly, and till the time it actually applies brakes, everything is fine. Once it does, it actually applies brakes in a way it wants to wake you up. Immediately it judders, and then it applies brakes, and those brakes are very sharply applied. So yeah, that is a bit of an emergency situation. I just prefer to turn it off at the moment, but that's me. So now we're going to come to the sport version of the instrument cluster, so you guys can enjoy this as well. So as I see it, the Mercedes E-Class is an absolutely fantastic car. It's a brilliant machine. It is absolutely oriented towards comfort. In that sense, it performs so well. I'm lost for words how Mercedes-Benz is so focused. And I'll tell you, just to put it into perspective, okay, cars are getting softer, and Mercedes obviously focuses on softness and luxury, and that's what they have nailed with the E-Class. So they have given us even more softer and more comfortable and more luxurious version of the E-Class. However, BMW on the other side, they are also getting soft, but Mercedes is known for softness and luxury. BMW is not. BMW is known for driving dynamics, and BMW is on one side losing its charm. Mercedes is increasing its charm, and that's kind of weird and awkward, because me being a BMW fan, I'm like, the E-Class is better. I would buy this over the 5 Series. What am I talking? So while the ride quality is absolutely brilliant, it's not the best handling car, obviously because of its size. Although the size is not really very apparent, because it feels very easy to drive as such. Obviously in the city you have to be very careful, because this is a long car. Sometimes it happens you've crossed the signal and the boot is still left there only at the signal. So you have to be really very careful while driving this car in the city. However, the handling is actually quite decent for a car of this size. Of course, there's roll on offer. It has less roll than the E350D, because the E350D obviously rolls a lot more because of the air suspension, which gives it floatiness. Now, because of the soft suspension, actually the suspension is even softer at the rear, so you feel a little bit more bounciness at the rear when compared to the front. But they've nailed the overall ride and handling balance of this car. For what it's meant to do, it does a fab job. Ride quality at higher speeds obviously gets a little floaty and bouncy as such, but you know, at lower speeds it's absolutely sensational, and for the most part I have nothing to complain about the ride. Yes, there's body roll on offer, but the steering is fantastic because it is light at lower speeds. It is very fast steering wheel. It's extremely accurate and weighs up brilliantly, specifically in sport mode, sport plus specifically speaking. In eco mode obviously it blunts things down, you know, the map changes and doesn't have all the get go, but as you change the modes from eco to comfort I think is what you would use every day. There's sport, which I never use because I prefer to use sport plus, and sport plus obviously it keeps the engine on the boil, so it's always on the prowl and you can feel that a bit as well. It sounds sporty, it doesn't have the diesel clatter as such, which is again a very good thing. Now there are 6 variants on offer of the Mercedes E-Class, and out of those 6 variants, 2 are for the E220D, 2 are for the E200, 1 is for the E350D. Now the E350D is available in a separate variant altogether, which is not the case with the E220D or either E200. I love it. I love this car. It is such a great car. This E-Class is fantastic. So what are the prices? Now if you want to opt for the base variant of the E-Class, it obviously is the E200 petrol version, which costs 68.74 lakhs. You want to opt for the top end, which happens to be really very expensive, is the E350D, which obviously is a 6-cylinder version using the same engine as the S-Class. It's not a V6. Of course it's not a V6. Complies with, everyone complies with BS6 emission norms. So what are we even talking about? Okay, that costs 88.74 lakh rupees, almost 89 lakh rupees. Very expensive. And this one is 76.11 lakhs. Yeah, on all the prices obviously on road Mumbai. Now of course you are like, okay fine, 6-cylinder performance is fine, I want something really if you are counting right now, I said 5 variants of the E-Class when I said it has 6 variants. The 6th one is my personal favorite. It is the E63 AMG. Absolute maddening performance. You make a person sit in this car and then you make that person sit in the E63, they'll be like, they're not the same cars. They're absolutely not the same cars. That is the staggering level of difference. Obviously, that is a shorter wheelbase. This is a longer wheelbase. That doesn't have an engine. This one has one because that has a nuclear reactor in it, all of 8 cylinders. And this is so nice. I love the graphics. And so guys, this is my vlog of the Mercedes E-Class, the E220D. And yeah, I realized that it picks up pace so well, and you realize, oh my god, there it is. It's just pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and stealing and pulling. But what a lovely car. I love the fact Mercedes is so focused on its USPs, on what the brand is known for, comfort and luxury. And this E-Class absolutely nails it. Now, of course, the newer version of the E-Class is coming really soon, the facelifted version. Although now I'm not really convinced about the design of that car. However, as Mercedes does it always, it is going to be absolutely sensational. But the 5 Series has also got a facelift. So exciting times in 2021, and hopefully this stupid virus also goes, so we can actually take these cars to the places they belong across cities. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the... Okay, I know you guys are like, ये सब छोड़ो, एक और launch कर दो ना यार. Check this out. Okay, G-force meter. I don't know why traction control is off and then it intervenes, but the engine just pulls so smoothly. This 9G-tronic gearbox is so good. It's a 9-speed gearbox, you know that, right? Of course you do. But it is so fast with shifts. It's staggeringly quick, it's staggeringly smooth, and it's ready for a kickdown every given moment. It works so silently. The way this powertrain has been developed, refinement, smoothness, urgency, everything nailed bang on in this car. What a fab machine. I absolutely love it. But then E350D, yeah, E350D. We'll pay that little bit more money, but we'll get the E350D because 350D with 6 cylinders is just so much better in terms of performance. But thankfully now Mercedes has obviously given us more features here as well. Why am I vlogging on this car? Haven't I done it before? I think because now it gets Mercedes' connected car tech, which unfortunately is not connected to my phone yet. And that's the reason we're just talking about the car. What a lovely machine. And before I end, we obviously have to take this corner to show you, in spite of the weight, size and softness, still body control is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, this is no E63 that will spin like that. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, make sure to give it the thumbs up. That's the like button. And also subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.